wife asked me if Morbius. Just close that door. My wife just asked me if Morbius is. What did you say, babe?
It said if I asked if they're gonna bring Blade in to the MCU through the Morbius movie because I don't know much about Morbius, but I'm pretty sure in that trailer that I just saw, he turns into a vampire.
Well, technically, if you were to be technical, you got to say that the Eternals introduced him.
Right.
Because in the end
That's
credits, you
very
hear
true.
his voice, but maybe everyone obviously doesn't know that that was. Oh man, I don't want to mess up his name. Mahershala Ali. A lot of people don't know that that was his voice, and Mahershala Ali is the guy who's going to be playing the next Blade. Um, donning the what you can't even call it a cape or anything. You got to call it the black jacket, right? Like the long black jacket and the sword. You know what I'm saying? And the boots and the glasses. You know what I'm saying? The shades.
I just feel like that'd be a really logical spot to
I think so
introduce
too.
him.
I think it makes perfect sense. I definitely agree. I would say yes to that. I think. Well,
But I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to introduce him in Morbius, but it wouldn't be
It
far
could be like
fetched.
a cut scene or like a post credit scene or whatever.
Yeah, it wouldn't be far fetched. And if that is the case, then it just clarifies my thought process that this next phase of Marvel is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot grungier. It's going to be a lot darker.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be visually. It's not going to look like what we're used to seeing, where it's like very very colorful in some aspects. Where most of the movies are very colorful and as aesthetically pleasing as possible. There's a lot of astral plane type things going on in a lot of these big spectacle Marvel movies as of late. But I think they're going dark, man. They got
I'm
Morbius.
excited to see what they can do.
They got Morbius. Obviously, a lot of people know Morbius, but like I don't know his story. I know about Morbius, but I don't know his story.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was always trying to fight Spider Man, and I think Morbius had a fiance or a girlfriend who was trying to like steer him from like completely going crazy and becoming, this bloodthirsty vampire. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And yeah, with I think damn, did I spoil it right there? I did. I said Blade was in the end credits of Eternals, but
Yeah,
if you haven't seen Eternals by now, it's been out for a long time, and I think also with in that end credit, you heard Arthur, you heard Dane Whitman. He's seen Dane Whitman and he's looking at the Ebony Blade, and then he hears the voice of Blade, and he's like. So I think that also lends itself. That scene for Dane also lends itself to the idea that you know I think the Black Knight's gonna be darker than I think it's actually gonna be.
I'm pretty
Well,
excited.
I don't know why it took me so long to try to get that thought out, but like I think it's gonna be. I think his is gonna be a lot darker than I think it's gonna be, and his deals with magic too. He could easily, from the comics that I've been reading of the Black Knight. It lends itself perfectly to, and I want to show you guys a couple of my Black Knight comics. I got a couple of them. His character lends itself perfectly to just the whole mystique of magic and the times of Arthur and sorcery and wizards and things of that nature. You know what I mean? I'm excited. They could very well have. They could very well have. I said Arthur the Round Table, and Merlin. Merlin is in this. Like, if you go back in the history, of the Black Knight, uh, one of his I don't want to say assistants because he's not his assistant, but one of his his aides is Merlin. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gives him the tutelage he needs. He crafts the swords for him. He crafts the swords, and Dane Whitman actually, when he's messing with Merlin, Merlin creates a shield. He creates a chalice. and he creates a sword for Dane, or like one of Dane's descendants through the story way back, and he's like, which of these items do you want? You have to be careful because this is the item that you're going to use to protect yourself. And each, the chalice has a special ability, the shield has a special ability, and the sword has a special ability. And he's like, I want that sword. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously. Um, but yeah, I went on a tangent. But yeah, this video is all over the place. But yeah, I think these next batch of Marvel movies are going to be very dark. Specifically, Blade, Morbius, The Black Knight. Is what?
The Black Knight.
Yeah, dude, the Blade when Dane Whitman opened the what the I want to say a treasure box. It wasn't a treasure box, but
it was like a knife cabinet.
Yeah, but when he opened that box that had the sword in it, the sword was there was something.
It was like
There was some type of power that was writhing on top of the blade.
Yeah.
On top of the blade, and the blade, obviously the blade was black. It was an ebony blade, and it was like it was talking, like it was like creepy whispers emanating from the blade itself, and you're like, what the? And I did more research on it, and those whispers were were the voices of slain enemies that the blade had cut down. That the wielder had cut down because the wielder of the sword gets stronger by cutting down his enemies. And it's like a bloodlust. The stronger the wielder becomes, the stronger the sword becomes. Yada yada. All right, y'all have a good one.